The Las Vegas Raiders are sitting on something explosive nobody saw coming. After one of the roughest seasons in recent memory, they now hold the #1 pick, a pile of cap money, and a fan base that's done waiting for promises. This isn't another rebuild speech. This is the moment where failure flips into fuel, and the entire AFC might wake up too late to stop what's already in motion. Picture this. A brand new head coach in Clint Kubiak walking into a building that's finally acting like it wants to win for real. No more drama leaks, no more headline-stealing chaos. The front office shut down every Max Crosby trade rumor with one clear message: we're not moving our best player unless you bring something insane. That alone changes the temperature inside the locker room. Players see stability, they see focus. And when you pair that with Clint Kubiak's system designed to make life simple for a rookie quarterback, suddenly protecting him becomes priority one instead of an afterthought. But the real danger isn't just the shiny new pieces on paper, it's how fast everything clicked together. A coaching staff loaded with proven winners snapped into place almost overnight, and they're already drawing a blueprint that starts in the trenches and works its way out. What nobody outside Vegas is fully grasping yet is how this quiet discipline could turn the Raiders from afterthought into nightmare fuel for every contender in the conference. And it all begins with the guy they refuse to trade away. The Las Vegas Raiders just drew a line in the sand that the whole league felt. Every time Max Crosby's name pops up in trade buzz, the front office shuts it down hard and fast. They aren't shopping him. They aren't entertaining lowball calls. If a team wants the best edge rusher in silver and black, they better show up with an offer that rewrites the record books. This isn't tough talk for clicks. It's proof the new regime gets it. Protecting your cornerstone keeps the soul of the team intact and tells every other player they aren't disposable. That decision ripples everywhere. Max Crosby stays the loudest voice in the pass rush, the guy who sets the edge and forces quarterbacks to feel uncomfortable from snap one. Around him, the secondary starts taking shape with pieces like Isaiah Pola-Mao and Jeremy Chin already in place, ready to clean up the back end. The staff is eyeing a draft pick later on. Maybe a rangy safety who can cover ground like Minkah Fitzpatrick used to, flipping plays and giving the front seven even more freedom to hunt. When you lock in your star and build smart help behind him, suddenly the defense stops being a question mark and starts becoming a problem for offenses every Sunday. Nobody outside the building is giving this enough credit yet. A united front around Max Crosby means less distraction, sharper practices, and a locker room that believes the plan actually matters. That belief turns into speed, physicality, and trust, the kind that shows up when games get tight. And the men hired to sharpen those edges know exactly how to turn that energy into wins. What happens when that defensive heartbeat gets real support from the guys calling the plays is where this story starts getting dangerous. And the Las Vegas Raiders didn't rebuild their staff piece by piece. They built it in a flash, pulling together names that scream experience and no-nonsense results. Clint Kubiak steps in as head coach with a clear eye for tailoring schemes to the talent he has, not the other way around. Right beside him sits Mike McCoy as assistant head coach, a guy who's lived through big moments and knows how to steady a room when pressure builds. That kind of veteran presence alone shifts the vibe from guesswork to certainty before anyone even hits the practice field. Then the coordinators lock in fast. Andrew Giannacco takes the offensive play calling, bringing his sharp eye for details that make every route and block click together. On the other side, Rob Leonard runs defense with a focus on toughness and fundamentals that don't bend under fatigue. Special teams land with Joe DeCamillis, another coach who's seen playoff battles up close and refuses to let small mistakes snowball. Position coaches round it out. Zach Azzani demanding physical routes and real effort from the receivers. Ronald Williams shaping linebackers with the same edge he learned in tough environments. And Omar Young handling the backs with inside knowledge of this exact system from every level. When a group this deep assembles this quick, it means the vision was already locked in before the ink dried. This isn't a collection of random hires hoping for chemistry. It's a deliberate stack of people who teach, correct, and demand the same standards every day. Young talent walks in knowing exactly what's expected, no confusion, no excuses. Veterans feel the respect in the room because these coaches have been there and won. That foundation turns potential into production faster than most teams can match. And when the offense starts flowing from that same disciplined mindset, the ground attack becomes the spark that lights everything else up. The Las Vegas Raiders handed the keys to their run game to a man who's turned average lines into unstoppable forces for decades. Rick Dennison now calls the shots up front, and his history speaks louder than any hype video. Backs under his watch keep producing no matter the system or the jersey. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet combined for 1,757 yards and 17 touchdowns in 2025, even when defenses knew the run was coming and still got gashed. Before that, Alvin Kamara danced through gaps, Dalvin Cook powered ahead, LaShawn McCoy sliced behind perfect zones, and earlier names like Arian Foster, Mike Anderson, and Reuben Drowns piled up huge days on clean blocks. The pattern never changes. Rick Dennison builds lines that move people, and backs who trust those holes explode. This isn't about flashy tricks or new gadgets. It's zone blocking done right, pulling guards, reaching linebackers, and creating cutback lanes that punish over pursuit. Ashton Genty steps into that world primed to thrive, no more hoping for broken plays or miracle bounces. He gets real push from the interior, real daylight when he plants and goes. Defenses feel the weight early, forced to load the box just to slow the tempo. That hesitation alone buys precious seconds for everything else the offense wants to do. One strong ground attack doesn't just score points. It dictates how the other side has to defend every series. The beauty here is the ripple effect nobody outside the building fully sees coming. When Rick Dennison gets his group clicking, the whole offense breathes easier. Play action becomes deadlier because safeties can't cheat forward without paying. The quarterback reads cleaner windows instead of scrambling for his life. And the defense gets to pin its ears back knowing the offense can sustain drives and chew clock. This foundation isn't optional anymore. It's the engine. And once it starts humming, the pieces around it start falling into place much faster than people expect. The Las Vegas Raiders know exactly where last season broke down, and they're not pretending otherwise. The interior line crumbled too often, leaving Colton Miller fighting alone on the edge while pockets collapsed before the play even developed. That ends now. The plan centers on landing a true anchor at center, with Tyler Linderbaum topping the wish list for his ability to pull, reach blocks, and redirect defenders in the run game while snapping back to stonewall rushers up the middle. A player like that doesn't just fill a spot, he resets the entire field of protection from the first snap. Next to him, the guard spots need real power and movement. Names like Wyatt Teller bring immediate push in the run game, or veterans such as Kevin Zeitler, Aaliyah Vera-Tucker, and Isaac Sumalo offer the smarts and durability to turn shaky calls into clean wins. These aren't luxury ads. They're necessities that make the difference between hoping the quarterback escapes and knowing he won't need to. Pair any of those with Colton Miller holding strong on the left and young tackles like DJ Glaze or JPJ stepping up on the right, and the whole front starts moving as one unit. Zone schemes flow smoother. Cutback lanes appear naturally. Pressure becomes rare instead of routine. This rebuilt wall does more than keep the quarterback upright. It gives the entire offense breathing room to execute what Clint Kubiak draws up. No more rush throws into tight windows. No more forcing runs into stacked boxes without daylight. When the line wins early and often, defenses hesitate. Backs like Ashton Genty find rhythm, and the passing game opens up without anyone having to force it. The transformation starts here in the dirt, and once that foundation locks in, the skill players get to show what they can really do against defenses that suddenly have too many problems to solve at once. The Las Vegas Raiders receiver group sits right on the edge of something special, loaded with young pieces that flash different strengths every time they touch the field. Jack Besh brings toughness in the middle, fighting through contact and winning contested catches that keep chains moving. Trey Tucker explodes from the slot with quickness that forces corners to play honest or get burned underneath. Dante Thornton stretches the field vertically with pure speed, while Cedric Jackson adds depth and reliable hands across the board. These aren't placeholders. They're cheap, hungry talents ready to grow into bigger roles the moment the scheme demands it. What pushes this room over the top comes from smart additions that fit without forcing anyone out. A player like Rashid Shaheed already knows the system inside out and turns quick yes or no reads into chunk plays when safeties bite the wrong way. Alec Pierce stacks defenders and high points the ball on deep outs or fades, giving the quarterback a true jump ball option. Throw in a chain mover like Jawan Jennings for grit on third downs, or even a short-term swing at a proven veteran such as Mike Evans to inject alpha presence, and the mismatches multiply fast. Speed threats pull coverage wide, bigger bodies punish single coverage, and suddenly every defensive coordinator faces choices they hate. The real power shows up in how these weapons play off each other. Zach Azzanni demands physical routes and blocking effort from the outside guys, turning receivers into extensions of the run game. Slot speed from Trey Tucker forces help inside, opening one-on-one looks for Alec Pierce or Rashid Shaheed downfield. When the line wins up front and the run threatens consistently, those coverage tilts create windows nobody can close quick enough. Defenses start guessing wrong more often, and the offense gets violent without anyone having to force the issue. That kind of balance doesn't just move the chains. It changes how opponents prepare for every snap, and the draft pick at the top of the board ties directly into making it all click even harder. The Las Vegas Raiders hold the #1 overall pick like a loaded weapon, and the choice feels almost inevitable at this point. Fernando Mendoza steps in as the rookie quarterback built exactly for what Clint Kubiak wants to run. A guy who can make clean, accurate throws to the outside when windows open up and the protection holds. This isn't about forcing a superstar fit into a broken system. It's about dropping a young arm into an environment designed to let him read, reset, and grow without getting crushed every drop back. That single selection sets the timeline and gives the offense its long-term identity right from the jump. The real edge comes after the headlines fade, in the middle and late rounds where smart teams turn value into depth that lasts. With cap flexibility and no desperate needs screaming for panic trades, the Raiders can hunt specific fits without reaching. A physical corner who thrives on an island in Rob Leonard's scheme. A swing lineman versatile enough to slide inside or outside when the inevitable bumps happen. A deep safety with range to roam and erase mistakes behind Isaiah Polamau and Jeremy Chin. Even a return specialist who adds explosion in space changes field position quietly but massively. These aren't splashy names that win press conferences. They're the picks that keep the roster from cracking when injuries hit or matchups turn ugly. This approach keeps everything flexible and patient. No rushing to move Max Crosby for extra picks, no chasing veterans to patch holes that might fix themselves with development. The front office trusts the board, stacks players who match the scheme and the culture, and lets Fernando Mendoza grow surrounded by pieces that complement him instead of carrying him. Hit on a couple of those day 2 or day 3 selections, and the roster doesn't just improve. It becomes tough to break over a full season. That quiet accumulation turns promise into something much harder to game plan against, especially when the full picture starts coming together on the field in ways the rest of the AFC hasn't fully prepared for yet. The Las Vegas Raiders are no longer the team everyone writes off as years away. In a short time, Fernando Mendoza settles into command, reading defenses from a pocket anchored by Tyler Linderbaum and Wyatt Teller, handing off to Ashton Genty while Rashid Shaheed, Alec Pierce, Jack Besh, and Trey Tucker pull coverage to the edges and create chaos. Across the ball, Max Crosby keeps rushing with fresh legs because the offense controls tempo. And the secondary finally plays fast with young help closing windows instead of scrambling to survive. This isn't a dream scenario. It's the realistic picture when every quiet choice lines up exactly as planned. Contenders across the conference feel the shift without fully admitting it yet. Kansas City maps matchups assuming the same old vulnerabilities. Baltimore leans on physicality, expecting no answer in the trenches. Buffalo schemes for big plays, thinking the secondary stays soft. They all see the silver and black as a rebuilding project, not a group that's already stacking advantages in culture, cap room, and coaching smarts. The Raiders don't need to chase headlines or make splashy promises. They control their pace, miss less often because the decisions come from discipline, and keep building while others chase short-term fixes. That patience turns into power the moment the schedule circles back to Allegiant Stadium with real stakes hanging in the air. The scariest truth lands here. This version of the Raiders doesn't arrive loud and flashy. It shows up prepared, cohesive, and relentless. The kind of team that makes veteran squads question what they overlooked. The AFC has been warned by every small move, every firm stance, every hire that clicked fast. Now the question flips hard. Which powerhouse admits first that they didn't watch close enough while the silver and black turn promise into something unstoppable? Drop your thoughts below on how soon this hits. Smash that like if you're buying in, and subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown when it all starts unfolding for real.